Good Mega morning, everyone, and welcome back to Mega May. We've got 4 days left to finish off all of the other Mega Man games and the indie games that it inspired. So hope you're excited for this. Berserk Boy is an overwhelmingly positive game. I've heard nothing but good things about it. It's been on my tip playlist for far too long, and I'm looking forward to watching this run here with Dyanketo. And so, please tell us a little bit about Berserk Boy and get started whenever you're ready.
Yeah, this is Berserk Boy. It has found inspiration from Pac-Man series, from Sonic series, and you'll see the references soon enough once I do a little bit of a countdown. So on the screen you can see K and Fior. K is the guy on the left, and Fior is the bird. Those will be the characters that we'll be playing as, or actually character, but you'll see. So let's see. Let's get ready to set up a new save file. I'm going to be playing on modern. You can play as retro, which has a set lives and face stronger enemy set, but modern just as faster. And I'll not be playing for a new game plus. So I'm ready when everyone else is, so I can do a countdown.
Go for it.
All right, let's get this game rolling in 3, 2, 1, and go. So on the bottom right of the screen, you can see it's loading. We're just gonna skip all the introductions. So right here, you can see this is K. We're in his human form. And K is known to be a teleporter. And with that ability, he can transport packages. And as you can see, this is a tutorial stage. It tells you about dropping down through platforms, ladders, and going through gates. And it looks all fancy and nice, but we're just going through that. Something's happened though, like usually happens to all our protagonists, and suddenly we have a bird, and the bird's hair is on fire. Because who doesn't love fire on their birds for some reason? It'll be explained later down in the line. But yeah, the bird gives us the explanation, hey, with me, you now have the combined power to dash. And with our dashing ability, we, go fast. And then the bird realizes, oh yeah, you need a little bit of help. So we can now use the bird as a club. Bird is called Fior. But as you can see, K is already using his teleporter powers to teleport people to safety. Because we are being invaded. There's a lot of stuff going on here that is not being explained as quickly as I can. I'm moving faster than the explanation. But yeah, with that, we have to rescue people because, as you could see, there were a couple of gates. They were being barred. You need to rescue a minimum amount of people to get through those special gates. But luckily for us, for the speed run, that is not as relevant as you think it would be. So this will be the only amount of people we're going to be rescuing. I just realized that sounds a little funnier than I think it would be. Anyway. As you can see, we're grinding rails. We're getting through the tutorial stage as much as possible. So that is basically K's demonstration through the tutorial in human form. And as you can see, we've kind of unlocked the Berserk suit, but our body is not capable of adapting to it. So it's like it puts you through electric torture, basically, if you don't adapt to it quickly. As you can see, the invasion happens. These enemies that you can see here, these yellow enemies, are called shades. Or actually, enemies in general are called shades, and they are being created with dark energy, which is the opposite of the berserk energy. That's what we have right now. Ooh. Like I said, the game is going faster than I can explain properly, so let me see that. So yes, in this world, in New Hope City, where we are right now, we have, how do you call it, a researcher called Dizzy, which is our childhood friend, that is trying to figure out the secrets behind the Berserk orbs, which is, the thing that we're wearing right now. We found one, we were tracking one, and then all of a sudden, hold on, for trending percent, I need this one. So yeah, a little bit of a quick summary. I need to collect special medals to unlock the true ending. So I backtracked there a little bit to grab one of those bigger medals. You can't miss him. It's a giant floating bee in the sky. There we go. As you can see there on the left.
So, did Izzy make the suit, or
Sorry, come again?
our researcher friend?
Yeah, our researcher Dizzy
Dizzy.
researched just a certain energy,
Gotcha.
but it's like an unknown phenomenon lost to mankind, basically. And it just so happens, you know, because plot lines, we find one and we take it and we're able to fuse with it and assume this berserk form, which gives us this enormous dash ability, which I am going to be abusing a lot. So as you can see the gameplay, if you are thinking like Gunvolt Copen, that is similar to this form. There we go. There's a bit of a running gag also going on in the community. There's this dog called Steve. I'll be trying to not get hit by Steve, because getting hit by Steve means I get rabies. Don't ask me why. It just turned out that way. So yeah, with a bit of quick platforming, we're already through to the first level. We're at the boss. And this one might actually look familiar to some people. If you've played Mega Man X, you know this one. Except it's not on rails. It now has an entire grid which it can move on. And it has a certain amount of patterns, and I'm hoping to get the good pattern. Thank you, game. Thank you. This is the second best pattern you can get. So I'm trying to get... Oh, a little bit damaged before that, so I land faster. There we go. But yeah, with our Berserk suit, we now also have the power to use Berserk energy. And with Berserk energy, we can execute a Berserk move, which I just used on the boss twice. Now, at the end of each level, you get a summary telling you how well you did. And it's usually based on score and time. Which means I'm not going to be graded really well on most of these stages, unfortunately. Even though we go blazingly fast at times. So this room, you can see, this is definitely inspired by Mega Man Zero. This is our commander. Say hello to our commander. That's it. He's going to be standing there for the rest of the game, and he's going to be very encouraging towards us. I love the guy. Can't blame him. Like, we got the super suit, right? So with that, we're already off to stage 2. As you can see, some of these enemies have like certain properties to them. You have to take that into account as you move through these stages. Like, some enemies have, like, for example, a bit of a shield on them. And the trick for that is to try to avoid those, because some hitboxes are larger than you think. And while you're dashing, you can see I'm trying to not dash into too many enemies whenever possible, simply due to the fact that you bounce backwards even on these buttons. So once you dash into an enemy, you get this electric line behind you, and that is also like an entirely damaging move. Here we go. Get rid of these enemies. That's the electric line that you see following me right now. This is one of the other medals that we're trying to take. So the game also has corner jumps. And what I mean by that is that on certain edges of platforms... No, let me get back into the pipe. Thank you. On certain corners of edges, you can try and get over there a little bit faster. It like auto hops for you. If I... What's a good example of that? I've shown it off a little times already. Alright, so this is one of the first times we're being introduced to a mini gauntlet. And this is one of those enemies that you have to hit very specifically, what I was mentioning about earlier. When you have to, like, very much try to get as fast through this as possible. Oh, man. I'm sorry, if I'm messing up my commentary here and there, it's just because I'm trying to focus, because I try to go fast. Because there's a lot going on. So a couple of these flying enemies basically serve as food for you to like dash through. Or like dash against, because every dash you do also resets your dash capabilities. So it's really nice that you can basically keep on dashing as long as you have energy. So in the top left corner of the screen, you have the red bar, which represents your health. And you have the blue bar, which I aptly call dash energy. And then you have the purple bar next to it, which is the Berserk energy. And the Berserk energy is the pink one right now, and it has 2 levels of it. Some forms consume more Berserk energy than possible. And we just met this guy. Can you believe this? I just sent you home. Aren't you like model mark? Oh, you got upgraded. Got it. So let's see what kind of pattern he is. Uh-oh. That's not a good one. So yeah, there's a lot of time wasting patterns on... Oh wow, you're really going for it. There we go. Luckily for us, he's no problem. Couple of special attacks and a little bit of an explosion here and there, and we're moving on. Now, if you thought the stage was over, yeah, sometimes the game just does not feel like, hey, there's more to this. It wants you to platform a bit more. So, as you can see, I just bounced off a button, and bouncing off those buttons basically gives me the option to open the door. Yes, that's what buttons do, Dyan. But yeah, those buttons need to be electrified. And that's why I sometimes dive away from those buttons, trying to get as far as possible without actually activating the button itself already. To get through the door a little bit quicker. This is our home base. We've been here just a bit earlier. Unfortunately, though, dark energy has made its way onto this ship, so we're going to have to defend our, guardian ship, basically, if you think of Mega Man ZX Advent, for example, or Mega Man ZX in general. So that's what we're doing right now. We're taking care of this invasion. So on this run, I will be making 3 shopping trips, so... The blue orbs that I've been picking up is not just for dash energy refresh, it is also our currency. And with our first shopping trip, I've got 50% extra energy.
Are you ready to head out?
Now, 50% extra energy just means more dashes. There's not much I can go off of here. But yeah, what happened in the story and what we're going to see right now is Dizzy, our researcher that I've briefly mentioned before, is kidnapped by Henry, or Flame Drill, which is the first major boss of the first chapter. This game is segmented into multiple chapters. Got it. Those are instant kill spikes. And that was not an easy setup to go for. And yeah, we're skipping that medal. The route has been calculated to a degree. That is an example of a corner jump where you can just quickly see... Oh, don't get me. Don't get me. Hands off the merchandise is what they said. There we go. Let's see. Where are we? Oh yeah, we're trying to rescue Dizzy. Which is at the end of this stage, because Flame Drill, the boss that I call Henry, was like, hey, you know what? I like to be powered up too. I can use a lot of this Berserk energy. And this researcher just might be the key to unlocking more of my power. Alright, there we go. These are some... I just refer to them as Donkey Kong barrels. As you can see, they function kind of the same way. You basically dash through them. Not really dash through them. You get, like, you know, if you played Donkey Kong before, you know how they work. I hope. But yeah, the way that they work is you jump into them, you get either slinged into a direction, or you can choose a direction for yourself. So there we go. So while I'm trying to fly through all of this, I'm also trying to collect as many of these blue things as possible. Blue orbs. Thank you. Okay, here we go. This is Henry coming up. Now, Henry, please, be a gentleman. Give us some good RNG. Now, if you're playing this casually, this will remind you of Mega Man X7. This boss is basically a Flame Heinard copy. With the burn, 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 flame, and the burn jokes, and... there we go. Oh, he gave us the best pattern we got. Henry is infamous for giving you the worst patterns possible. Luckily, most of the RNG is decided in the first 4 stages of the game. First 4 or 5 stages. But yeah, basically the way the game is set up is it gives you each new area with 3 different chapters. So basically chapter 1, 2, and 3 leading up to like culmination of it.
Are you ready to head out?
So right now we've unlocked 2 things. The new area and the new form. And the new form is going to be the one we just stole from Flame Drill, basically. Poor fella. He was just doing his best. So yeah, these are the ice stages, which introduce us to one new enemy, that guy with a shield and spikes on his head. Those spikes aren't just for show. It means if you try to dash over him, yeah, that's going to hurt. So yeah, we're being introduced here to a couple of more of these Donkey Kong barrels. And with Flame Drill, I can do something I couldn't be able to before, which is drill through the stage, which doesn't sound really as exciting, but trust me, we'll get to that part. So we're going to skip a little bit. There we go. We've activated Hyper Drill. Now, Hyper Drill is a method that you can use to travel through those dirt sections faster, because normally that doesn't go really fast. It's not supposed. Let's put it this way. It's not supposed to do that, so we made it work. Okay, that was a good setup for that one. So that's why we're able to zoom through these dirt sections really fast. Which basically involves me, I can go a little bit faster too, but it would involve me spamming multiple buttons and a high chance of death. Because if you hyper drill into one of those sections, with just, let me focus on this for a second and then try to explain it a little bit. Right, if you hyper drill through one of those sections and you get into one of those damaging parts, whether a spike or the red spikes? I don't think they're called red spikes. Doesn't matter. What happens is that you basically drill yourself to death because of all the advanced speed you've basically obtained. It keeps repeating you to bonk into it. And trust me, being forced to repeatedly get bonked into spikes was not on my breakfast list. So yeah, we're skipping a lot of these platforms here. This is, these are these gates. They not only serve as a teleport function, they also refill us with energy and health. Which is really nice, and this is a worm mini boss. Let's hope he gives us some good RNG. Nope. Might give us the second best pattern. To be able to double hit him, you have to like take some damage. Unfortunately, he's not gonna give us the best pattern, which basically involves this wormy boss sitting in the middle of the room like this. So yeah, the special move of Flame Drill is not being able to just go through walls. Flame Drill is also exceptionally strong in Gauntlet, so that's the main primary use that I will be using it for. So I am going to take this backup medal though. There we go. As you can see, these are Flame Drill platforms. I'll not be using this much. I'm just showing it off here, because you can land on that corner. And that's also another function Flame Drill has. Grab this medal. We can also exit the Donkey Kong barrels just a bit earlier. Ooh. As you can see, if I were hyper drilling a lot faster there and not letting go of my buttons, I would have drilled myself to death. And we zip a little with that ladder. Not all ladders, unfortunately, are zippable. Now the thing is why I'm trying to go through some certain sections more careful is simply because of the fact that if you die, Berserk medals get reset. So once I grab hold of those medals, I am basically not allowed to die. Now if you're paying close attention to the bottom right corner, there's a timer there that tells us how many seconds are left for this section. We're activating this because of a door to the left. And then Dizzy was getting in there, helping us. And I'm pretty happy with that. Activate fast fall, which is just a little bit faster. Alright, there we go. Phew, that's the first ice stage done. But yeah, Dizzy got summoned there to open the door. We're not capable of hacking the door. Capable of breaking doors and breaking things, but not hacking. This door was basically like, yeah, you know what? We're not gonna do this. Hello, Commander. Thank you. No. Yes. Whew. Breathing room. Alright, let's continue on. So, on the second stage, we're going to get introduced to a couple of other things here. Think about it quickly, what they are. There we go. So there's going to be an elevator that we're going to be skipping. Because elevators are slow. We don't want to stand on them too much or for too long. There we go. This is one of them. Because it really takes its time. What an elevator does, it basically locks you into position. And once you're locked in, it just... yeah, you can't do much. So over here, we're going to fly over a death pit. But since we have dash, we're pretty much solid. We know when to go. Also, usually don't try to skip those spikes because I'm dashing through them. If you mistime it by a little bit, you get squished by the spikes and you have to start all the way back. Got the medal, that's good. Now, as I mentioned before, you have like these flame drill platforms that we're aptly skipping. Yeah, we just make it far enough so that we can ignore most of those things here. And with that, we've already collected 2 medals here. There we go. So the funny thing about these electric wires is that they're on the ice stages a little bit inconsistent on their damage. No, Steve, you don't get to do it. Nice corner hop. But there, yeah, they're unfortunately a little bit inconsistent on damage. This is a little sketchy. We're gonna be fine though. Okay. I was holding my breath a little. Now, you might have recognized this pattern before. We've had 2 boss fighters before, and you're not gonna guess what this one's gonna be. Unfortunately, though, running this on true ending percent or any percent doesn't really matter. The only one that gets a true advantage is on New Game Plus, where you actually carry its weakness for that specific mini-boss. So, yeah, this is gonna be the biggest time waster. Now, one of the abilities I haven't talked about is at the start of your dash, you have a couple of iframes, which I'm definitely not abusing to avoid this attack. Now, this worm boss can rubber... ah, thank you. That's good RNG. So the only thing that can manipulate... hang on. Rubber banding first, then talk about that. So, the way this mini-boss works is its head is like, goes... it tries to target you from when it spawns from downwards and from upwards as well. So even though at first you think you're escaping it, it's definitely chasing you down. And I forgot about the other thing I was trying to say. Huh. Neat. Anyway, rubber banding. Yes. He's really good at that. So the game also has Pavlov traps, as I aptly call them. And what Pavlov traps do is basically they tap into your habit of pattern recognition. And what happens is it tells you 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? That's basically how you go. So when you get into like the 4 sections, you think like, that's got to be 1, 2, 3 again. No, it's 1, 3, 2. That's what I call Pavlov traps. Like when I was drilling up earlier, there were like 2 entrances going towards the right. And usually you need to skip like the first one, but in this case it was the 3rd one. And with that, we are already into our 3rd and final stage of the ice stage section. Which at the final part, we will be encountering Crystal. At least I call her Crystal. The in-game name is Ice Kunai, which will give us access to our Ice Kunai form. Which is definitely not one of the better forms we can have in this game. So, quickly taking a little bit of care of this gauntlet right here. And I'll show you off something cool after this gauntlet real quick. Which is infinite jump. We're only going to see a small part of it. So basically by using the wheel, if not touched the wheel yet, you can actually refresh your jumps. By going back into human form. For some reason, the wheel has this capability to reset that. Unfortunately though, we only got like 2 uses out of it. But it's still fun to see. So with that, we're flying over a couple of spikes. Grab through the gate here, and we'll get into our first auto-scroller cutscene. Now I'm going to show you something funny. It forces us back into our Berserk form, and then suddenly we have Dizzy, because Dizzy was kind of tired of being at home. So we have a nice auto-scroller section here, which I usually refer to as the sound of my people. And why? Because of the engine sound. Isn't it lovely? Listen to this. This gorgeous piece of engine. Vroom. So yeah, the snow is falling. We're going through the platforms. There's not much to go on of. Let's see. Yeah, so the wheel itself is like an option you can use. What you've seen me do is actually transform. Not using the wheel at all. Let me show off Flying Dizzy. Hi, Flying Dizzy. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to fly. Hello? Hello? And this is one of those resistance gate. I need to have at least saved up to 60% of the resistance, but we're already at Ice Kunai, so let's get down with that first. The wheel does not only freeze the game, but gives us jump refreshes as well. Yeah, I've not touched upon it, but bosses have their own special moves as well. And in this case, their special move is to freeze you in an ice cube. I don't want to be put on ice. Alright. And now what's actually kind of funny about the game is that each boss has their own personality. So like Flame Drill, that I call Henry, is really explosive, really on fire, really energetic. And then Ice Kunai is basically like the total opposite of that. Let's go. But yeah, now element play comes more into the game, where we're trying to keep track of what element against what enemy we are using. As you can see, changing form here not only gives Ice Kunai the Kunai ability, a little low on energy here, but it's also really strong against those fire enemies. But sometimes switching around and changing forms is not as effective as I'd like it to be. So there we go. Unfortunately, our base is being invaded again. And we're just going through that and be like, you know what? This invasion has got to stop.
Are you ready to head out?
So with that, we are clearing out of our second invasion. I don't know what's up with these invasions. Like, Commander, your job is to keep us safe. At least give us the options to stay safe. There's a secret medal right there, right behind a tree. Really sneaky. Like, I love that the developer actually has like given you the option that if you want to reach the true ending, you have to like try and find for them. Unfortunately, though, a lot of people were having a lot of issues trying to find all the medals. So for the speedrun, the minimum amount of medals you need to gain the true ending was lowered, which is beneficial for us, which means we can go faster. On like a pretty decent pace too. So let's go, get rid of that one. I don't know if I have enough Berserk energy for the end now. I have to calculate that. There we go. So yeah, as you can see, the electric tubes only function in the Berserk form. Some of these things are pretty self-explanatory. Like, if you see this line, for example, it means you need to use Ice Kunai. So you've been secretly seeing me use that. And for example, this one, yeah, that one needs to use the Berserk form. But Ice Kunai is this form, this ninja form. As you can see, it throws kunais, but also has one really good ability, or actually multiples even. I can dash through enemies now. It costs a lot of energy, so that's a downside. Let me get that one. So for this stage specifically, I'm swapping between both the lightning form and the ice form. Because it doesn't cost Berserk energy in this form to do the downwards dash, basically. And it breaks all the boxes too. Which makes it an excellent ability for us to like keep momentum going and work on the this is exactly what I'm talking about. It also gives you the option to like choose a direction after you dash through something. For example, like that. Oh! Calculated. I'm not sure if I got the medal though. Oh yeah, we got through the gate before. So there we go. But yeah, the biggest reason we're going with all the Ice Kunai things is, yeah, it's just faster. There we go, grab that medal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let me see if I can get this. This quick kill is kind of hard to get. Ooh, I need to be just a little inch forward. Okay, let me try and focus and get this. So, oh no. Maybe? Ah. So what I'm trying to do there is by standing on a certain set of specific pixels, I can use the Berserk move from Ice Kunai to hit it not twice, but thrice with its ability. So now it's just... What do you think about... Oh. I forgot that the top missile hit. Okay, at least it gives me a try to do it again. So what I'm trying to do is throw as many kunais into this turtle as possible, get on the pixel, and activate the Berserk thing twice. This should be correct. You still get close, pretty close every time. So if you hang here, you're pretty much safe from everything except for the missile. Don't worry, we'll get another shot at this guy. But yeah, that quick kill is not... It's not easy. It's not easy. Let's see. So, how many medals did we grab from this stage? 2. Okay. It means I need to grab a couple of extra. Okay, got it. That entire stage is pretty much routed to not... try not to die, basically, the addition. So there we go. Ice Kunai again. As you can see, those shield enemies, we just completely ignore them with a form like this. And it's so nice just to be able to move from one side to another. There we go. And now, as you could have seen earlier, let me try to explain that. We have kunai platforms as well, which basically allows me to dash through a lot of those platforms. There we go, nice. And we have the object tank. That is one of those flying kunai platforms. It refreshes everything we already have. Which makes this a little bit cooler. But it also allows you to choose a direction as well. Not gonna lie, loving that directional upgrade. There we go. So one of the abilities that why it costs energy to land in this form is it gets you iframes as well as soon as you land. Which is pretty nifty, and it's probably only used twice? Nah, it's gonna be used a couple of times. Okay, hang on a second. There we go. And of course, by not using the flame drill, we're capable of flying over that entire gap. Now, you might have seen this guy before, right? I've probably told this joke 3 times. It's just 3rd time's the charm. Let's get to it, big guy. And there we go. Now, this one's a lot easier to get, fortunately. His weakness is ice, which helps a lot if you're trying to get him down quickly. So coming up will be, if my memory serves me correctly, one of the few instances where we actually use infinite jump. Yes, this is one of those platforms you can use later with a different form, but we don't have that form right now. And as you can see, that will shortcut instead of flying through an entire bramble maze, which basically just skipped. That form will be at the end of these Earth stages. And so with that, we are heading off to our boss of the Earth stages, which is mission 9. And I call her Trish, but she is Soaring Wind. And Soaring Wind gives us basically an entire alphabet of options to traverse stages. Which is honestly a really useful ability. Also a really strong one too. Come on. There we go. However, as being a really strong strategist, I question her choice. You see, what she's done is she chose to hide behind 2 of these electrified walls of a lot of enemies. And sometimes this happens. Now, if I tricked you correctly, that was a death ward. It basically puts us down. It basically puts us down there and saves us a bit of time. because the checkpoint is loaded a lot sooner than what you'd normally expect. Which is good for us. It was really silly. Like Logie and I were like trying to run this, and I died on a really stupid spot, and we were backtracking. How far can we dive back to finally find this like missing piece? Like, are there any multiple spots we can death warp? We've basically found a couple of spots. But yeah, equipping Flame Drill makes quick work of these gauntlets. But like I mentioned, I don't know why Trish actually hides behind 2 doors. I mean, she basically has seen our power for like at least 2 stages now. So she's got to know something's up, right? As a villain, this is the part where you should start sweating. No, Steve. No, Steve. Still no, Steve. Goodbye, Steve. Is anyone named Steve out there? I'm sorry. So yeah, with that, one of the 2 doors is down. We basically have to do this entire roundabout way of trying to get there. But it does allow us to show off all these really cool forms and abilities and how cohesively they all kind of work together. So canceling Donkey Kong Barrel actually allows us to go down faster. Go by jumping straight into it. If that didn't make any sense. I don't know how it works. It just goes fast. That's not entirely true though. Ooh. There we go. Now, as you can see, there is a door there, but that one is specifically locked behind another ability, so luckily we don't have to grab that one. I missed a bunch of orbs, so I'm gonna have to be a little careful about that. And of course, using Hyper Drill makes these entire sections more of a joke. Whee! There we go. Now, actually, something that is kind of funny that people have picked up is Flame Drill actually says Ground Claw when you get into the stage, basically, into the dirt. But people have also referred it to as Grandpa, because Grandpa and Ground Claw basically sound very similar. It's just every time I think about it now, it's like gets into the floor. I feel like Grandpa! But yeah, Ice Kunai is kind of strong. Trish used to be like one of the biggest challenges we got in the game. Until we figured something out silly. There we go. If you blinked, you missed it. That was Trish. We've evolved Trish to a point where using 2 abilities, because she casually flies in both our ultimates, we basically force her into her desperation move, and then we just basically dash back and forth the entire time. And that's Trish. It's kind of unfortunate how her time got cut so short, because she has a lot of cool attacks. But yeah, we're just gonna get short. There we go. Now with that, we have unlocked Soaring Wind. Now each and every invasion gets progressively with stronger enemies and like different positions you have to go to. Now Soaring Wind's ability, as the developer said it himself, is basically the tool for traversal and backtracking. Because a lot of goodies are hidden in these stages. You might have seen one a couple here and there where you're like, hey, isn't it possible to go there? Like hidden stuff, goodies, and walls. I'll show you one later. But yeah, as you can see, we're getting progressively worse attacks on our base. Okay, let's see if I have enough currency. And with it, it comes more traversal. Let's see, warp. Do I have enough? I don't. So, after every mission, we can pet the dog, which gives us just enough amount of money, hopefully.
Let's see what we've got.
Do we have it? Yes! 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Get the double dash. Which is exactly 2200. And with double dash, it basically changes the entire speed game. Because now it picks up another gear. You'll see me flying without using the soaring wind form. Double dash effectively kind of negates the entire use of the form. Sort of. Like some sections that have no floors definitely require the use of soaring wind. But other than that, we've figured out method patterns to set up in a way that we can skip over pits and other flying sections just by double dashing. So yeah, what you're seeing right now is our ability. We've gained the ability to fly using Soaring Wind's form. In the auto-scroller section, we of course have this infinite amount of times. Without it, it costs energy to fly around. Just as it costs energy to use kunais, dash, and all the other things. Our special ability is to use that shield while in the auto-scroller section. And outside of the auto-scroller section, the special move is a really, really slow wind-up spear. Which is exactly useful in one position. There we go. And as you can see, double dash really makes like quick work of these sections. To a point where we're just trying to find more of these. Let's see. Now these are also the hardest stages. Simply because, one, the floor is a vacuum cleaner. It likes to suck you up. And not in a good way. In a way that it tries to end your run quickly. Here we go. Activate all 3 buttons. Now for this run, I need a 3rd shopping trip. So we're still collecting these orbs for just one final upgrade left. Now using Soaring Wind on a Soaring Wind platform actually allows us to get this really cool animation, which you just saw, which basically allows us to fly really quickly. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 1. But yeah, each and every stage is slowly trying to condense you into the first stage being like a tutorial. Like, hey, this is how you should use Soaring Wind, this is how you should use Flame Drill, all those kinds of things. That's basically what the first stage is introducing you to. Come on, come on. There we go. Now, there's a really fun thing you can do. I think I can do it at a later elevator. Where you can stack all the enemies together. I know Django found about that one. You can basically stack all the enemies together. And while you have all the enemies stacked, you can basically whoop them all in one go. Oh no. Definitely not trying to set up here something. There we go. This is another one of those death warps at that spot, which basically sets you right up for this elevator skip. Give me a second. Ah, come on, come on. We got this. So yeah, these flames are instant kill. And then nets you into this secret area, which allows us to drill through this little dirt section and get to the ending a little bit sooner. There we go. Now, another fun thing you can do with those shield enemies is basically whoop them in one go if you drill into the floor. Doesn't work with those red shield enemies though. They just contain a little bit more health, so it's better to just give them a little 1-2. There's actually a move you can buy in the shop to upgrade from our professor. I think it was Aura. You know, the quick punching technique that they use in... That's one. That's the one I'm talking about. But yeah, with that, the gloves are off. The game is actively trying to hunt me now. So quickly activating Hyper Drill here. Ooh, that was good. Get rid of this one. Quickly stand on the platform, refresh it just a little bit. Come on, come on. There we go. As you can see, Soaring Wind really has like useful properties here and there where you need to a little bit more airtime. But our main dominant factor is still like the first form we get once we unlock the double dash. And this one really shows off why the double dash is amazing. We're just flying over all of these sections. Here we go. We got the metal safe. Okay, using the iframes again. Now let me try to go for something here, which is a spike skip. Okay, we just barely got it. Oh, I was holding my breath there. So what that spike skip does is basically you have those couple of iframes in your dash that you can use. And I'm trying to like initiate the spike sooner than the iframe allows me to be there. Because as soon as I try to... it's a little complicated, but as soon as I try to like abuse the iframe for it, yeah, it's not really working out that well as well. Because sometimes the spikes go through your iframe, so you need to be like faster than the startup time of your... You need to be faster than the startup time for your iframes, basically. There we go. Okay, this is gonna be another elevator skip. It's always scary. Let me think about this. Okay, there we go. First try. Nice. This is one of those parts where we can really abuse Soaring Wind. There we go. Nice. Yep. So this is going to be an auto-scroller right up to the mini-boss. It serves you as a bullet sponge and a rank upgrade. Why I'm saying that, you'll see. Give it a second. There's a nasty spike block over there. If you hit one of these during the auto-scroller, most of them is going to be fine, but that specific one, it kills you. Unless I just got really unlucky once. I've been avoiding it ever since. So this bullet sponge right here. Oh, you absolute legend. I call them Sigma ships because for some odd reason they remind me of Mega Man X, the Sigma symbol. But this legend already used this special attack. It's a very rare chance for that to happen at the start. Usually what he does is shoot these bullets. And I just casually move up and down just a little bit. As you can see, the shield does remove some of the bullets. But it just does more damage overall. So the best thing you can do is just go up and down just a little bit. It is possible to quick kill this boss, but you need a really good amount of RNG. Basically a double pattern at that point, where he actively prefers to shoot, because he will get a charge in one way or the other. And then we have a really cozy section again. Just firing along with the music. There we go. Grandpa. Come on. Okay, there we go. Sometimes forms need to have like a internal cooldown in the game. Or after landing, for example, you can't do another one of those. Yeah, something I forgot there for a second. If you're switching forms mid-air while you're used to double jump, you will lose your double jump. So I got scared there for a short second. Let's see. One of the last gauntlets we'll see with Flame Drill. We can enjoy it while it lasts. Now the nice thing about routing these gauntlets is that, as you saw, we were stuck on the right side. Because those yellow enemies specifically come towards you. Now, this is one of the secrets I mentioned earlier. Where it's like the game has hidden stuff on walls and things. That's one of those examples. Making quick work of that drill section. Now I'm going to do something here that is a little bit dangerous. That was a spike skip exit. You can basically exit out of your flame drill a little bit sooner, but if you don't do it properly, the game will squish you. There we go. I think that's our first S rank.
Are you ready to head out?
As I mentioned, the game is giving you that one for free because of the bullet sponge. The combo counter is one of the best things that you have for like getting like a good score in the game if you're trying to S rank everything. The best thing you can have is a lot of combos. There we go. Nice form. Now this is one of the hardest stages of the game because we'll be skipping pretty much 3/4 of it. There's a lot of auto scrollers in the... Oh, no. There we go. There's a lot of auto scrollers in this specific stage. And we're going to be skipping most of them. No, Steve, not today. Okay, this is going to be one of the first auto-scroller skips. It works the same way as in elevators. There's like on the edge, you have this very small section where you can stand on. And that basically allows us to skip an entire auto-scroller. I'm so happy about that. I just generally love the movement in this game. Like the amount of things you're capable of with like double dash and like flying through these stages is enormous. Now this is the scariest one. Because you have to like time that. And I specifically changed forms here. Okay, good. They got it. That's one of the scarier ones. Now comes another scary one. I'm going to be using infinite flight with the wheel combined with opening these gates. And the floor is continuously trying to like make me quit. The reason this is scary is not because of that section alone. It's because if you fail during any of these two-part sections... Oh. Mini heart attack. Okay. If you fail during any of those two parts, you have to do the entire section again. So luckily we got it first try. Let's go. Again, really showcasing the ice kunai ability here by just being able to fly through that. And this is one of the few auto-scrollers in this stage we just cannot skip, unfortunately. Because the floor, yeah, the floor takes us with us. And of these spikes, of course. I tried flying underneath it like a bajillion times. I've never got it to succeed. Now maybe someone in the audience here can help me out and find the perfect pixel for it. That would be great. So yeah, I was lying about that. We're skipping that auto-scroller altogether. And now I'm just doing a blind section of the entire room here. There we go. Which basically involves us climbing a bunch of ladders. And I skipped most of that. And we're up to Gray, which is Mindbuster ability. I call him Gray because of his special ability. Which is definitely not a reference to Mega Man CX Advent or anything. I make a little bit of fun of him too. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4 to reserve a little bit of Berserk energy. Is this gonna hit? There we go. That's the quick kill. Nice. So as you can see, setting up that spear, it takes a really, really long time. And it's perfect because Gray just happens to be hanging in the corner, which allows us to set up for the spear, and the spear does an insane amount of damage to the boss, which makes it really easy for us to skip most of his Berserk phase because Gray has a lot of iframes, and when I say a lot of iframes, I really do mean a lot of them. Come on, come on, good boy. I think I should start calling those exploding cameras. 2, 3, there we go. Because they basically kind of look like a camera, but then with a sniper rifle. So with this, we are down to our last invasion. I don't know. Someone should really hire better security in this case. Like, come on. This is like the 4th invasion, 5th. I lost count at this point. That's how many times we've got invaded in this base. I'm gonna blame the commander. Okay, he was gonna lightning justice a 3rd time. Let's see, we're on a good roll here. Quickly go down here. I'll have to wait and recharge the energy just a little bit. There we go. There we go. Skip that section. Actually, using a death warp just to make sure that we are capable of warping back here. I hope we have enough cash. I think I do. Because with that final upgrade, if you've just quickly picked up on that, we can buy infinite ammo. Now, unlike our other forms, this last form, Mindbuster, that allows us to like transform into Gray, it doesn't give us a whole lot of mobility. It gives us firepower. It gives us a whole lot of firepower, actually. By Jove, is it a lot of firepower. And we're going to definitely not be abusing all of that. But other for like movement and traversal, it's not that great. Let's see here, that specific timer is locked by a room timer, so the game has very little. But some of these rooms just have a couple of moving platforms left and right that allow you to change just a little bit quicker. Get through it a little quicker. There we go. So yeah, these are basically the final stages. They are really compact, and they basically ask you to change and use every form available. So it's densely compact. As you can see, there are these platform changes around. And these platform changes are one of those things where you can swap abilities at will. But they're basically just a suggestion by the developer. No, Steve. I haven't checked up with my medal count, so I'm gonna grab this one just as a precaution. Here we go. So yeah, with the firepower, we are now going to be formed predominantly for all the gauntlets we're going to encounter. There we go. Steve is the only dog we don't want to pet. I'm going for another spike skip over here. Need to get through a couple of these platforms first. We are taking a damage boost. Got it. Nice. I'm getting a lot of... I'm gonna jinx it, but I'm getting a lot of the hard tricks first try. I'm really happy about that. Now, as you can see, Mindbuster doesn't really work on that form, unfortunately. Hello? Woohoo! So, Mindbuster's special jump ability is basically like that. We're going to use your special ability here. There we go. Just for showing it off. It really serves no other purpose. And I was like, you know what? Gray has actually this really cool ability. I'm just gonna use it. There we go. But yeah, as you can see, the final set of stages for any percent are really densely compact. There's like floors missing, there's spikes, there's gauntlets, there's like doors everywhere you have to change form to.
Are you ready to head out?
And it's really hard to get that down fluidly. But once you pull it off, it feels and it looks amazing. Now, usually a trend you can also notice in the level setups is that the second stage usually gives you like this really strong start, like a really quick start on most of these stages. Oh, I don't have energy to get into that. I have to charge. There we go. Now, something the Mindbuster form can do is the shades have evolved to their final form, which is basically their invincibility form. Some haven't, though. Some are still stuck in the Dark Ages. But only Mindbuster, Grey form, the one, the tank form, is capable of finding those enemies and deleting them. There we go. And these are specific Mindbuster doors. Also Mindbuster platforms, but we can ignore them. Because Double Dash exists. Okay, there we go. Oh, gross. Oh, wow, that's put me really far back. Okay. I guess that's a first for everything, right? I'm not supposed to go the, oh wow, that's never happened before, but I'm not lying when I say it. I've not died there before. Usually what happens is on those platforms that I just dashed off of, what happens is that you get, how do you call it? You can dash off of it. Like, oh, I fell through again. That's really weird. Okay, I'll have to investigate that later. Like I said, normally I just dash through those. And this time I landed in the spike, so, you know, learn something new every day. Get into the floor. So this stage actually has like this part where it's also locked behind Trish doors, as I call them. I have to activate these two specific to unlock that to proceed. Now the game is still hiding some goodies I haven't truly figured out or discovered yet. Like there are downward zips available, there are out of bound tricks in tech. A lot of it got patched though, like to be fair to the developer, some of them could have been, if you're not like actively doing something, like a casual player would be able to really find them instantly. So the developer was like, I can't do that, that's a liability. And I don't disagree on that. But still, I would have loved to have some more out of bounds tech, honestly. The right form, please. Yeah, as you can see, gray form can definitely make quick work of these. And if you mash rhythmically, because if you mash too quickly, it actually looks like you get this really weird walking. Because it's basically just firing the gun over and over. And with that, we are on our final set of stages. This is going to be the final last stage. After that, we're going to go orb hunting for a little bit. And then we're off to something that most Mega Man fans would know and are very familiar with. Whoa, what? Oh, okay. That never happened. It's all fine. There we go. That should have happened. Instead, it exited me out from it, which is new. So with that, we quickly activate our button to... Oh. There we go. So now going to hyper drill on this one, because we simply need to activate that button over here. And then we need to drill our way out of here. Whoa, that was dangerous. There we go. But as you can see, the stage is really trying its best to, like, prevent us from getting there. There we go. Going for 2 spike skips here. Let me set that up. That's 1. That's 2. Okay. Good. So what I'm going to right now is one of those final buttons. Hang on. Okay. Whoa! Uh-oh. No, not like this. Oh, it did like this! Like I said, I can do the hard stuff pretty easily, but... you know, sometimes it's just not working out in your favor, and that's okay. There we go. Means we get to see more of the game, which is cool. I like that. I'm still avoiding all the Steve, though. I'm jinxing it right there. Steve hits me. Yeah, okay. 2. Okay, got that one. Got it. Those are the ones I'm... Is the door open, by the way? It is. Okay, just checking. I've not had to do that before, so I was like, is it open? There we go. Let's actually activate Hyper Drill for that one. So the way Hyperdrill works somehow is by exiting and re-entering. It negates the check you've had before. Because usually what you're supposed to do is you can use the boost just a little bit. But by exiting and re-entering while remaining in that form actually allows you the ability to ignore that. There we go. 1, 2. This platform is broken. Don't tell Zoo. Zoo is the developer of this game. There we go. There we go. So we're going to use Soaring Wind here. Activate Hyperdrill again. Exit the elevator, so we're not getting trapped by that one. Avoid that spike skip as well. That one's really easy though. Now there's something really cool you can do. I'm not going for it this time, but as you can see, you can use the ice kunai form to dash neatly through all this. So I'm going to try something here. And this is a boss lure. It has to do with this form. Trying to time it. Okay, that didn't work. I'm gonna give it one more try though, because the respawn is right outside the door. Okay, good. Gonna give it one more try. What I mean with boss lure is this form has something. I don't know how or what or why. Okay, there we go. Yes! Okay, as you see, we're not being lured in the room, so we can skip this. And then it goes into the loading sequence. But the door is still open. Bye! So what's happening here is something that definitely should not happen, and he gets into the spikes and then quickly activated, instant killing the boss. It is so silly, I love it. I don't know how it functions. I've never been able to figure it out. I just know it's possible to like get into the room and then lure him out of the room and make him taste the spikes of death for himself. But yeah, with that, the commander says, yeah, good luck. This is it for you. This is where any percent ends. But we're going for the true ending, so we need a minimum amount of medals. We need 20. I got 21, so I'm glad I picked up a couple of those safety ones. And this one is like, hey, you know what? It's not over yet. So Dizzy helps us locate where Dr. Genos might have gone off to. Yeah, that's the villain's name. Like I said, there's a lot going on here that I sometimes forget to mention. But yeah, Dr. Genos basically escaped after that final fight. And we don't like that. It feels like it's unfinished. The game actively also tells you that and tries to encourage you for like, hey, you're pretty good at this. How do you feel about taking it up a notch? So in this section, I am not allowed to fall into a pit or anything of the sort. Because then it resets me back to the entire starting point. There's no excuse. So I have to go through this section without losing any of my life. So far, so good. Let's keep it that way. I said let's keep it that way. Instantly almost goes wrong. Classic. Now there's something really cool I recently discovered with this form as well. You can go underneath these lightning checks. Which makes this section a breeze. You don't have to swap forms for anything. With that, we have grabbed the orb that we need to locate our final fight, basically. However, there's something tricky about this orb. I must bring it back and stay alive at the same time. Now, everything that has transpired earlier in the stage is still there, so bullets that I've left, like in a loading zone, will still appear from that specific spot if they're not loaded. See? These enemies, for example, they were still there. If I went a little faster, they could have definitely hurt me unintentionally. So I'm trying to think... there we go. Oh, we're pretty much already at the start. We're good. We got this. So this orb needs to be researched, so I'm going to bring this to Dizzy. However, I can't warp, because for some funky reason, warping makes me lose the orb, because you unload and reload the game itself. I just have to travel back all the way to Dizzy. Dizzy here is going to research the orb. And with that, we have found the final location. We have convinced our commander to go for the final showdown, which is going to be our final stage. Now, this is the part where I was talking about earlier that many Mega Man... basically, you lose connection in the story, and you're all on your own. This is a boss rush. And we're going to be met with every mini-boss and every boss we... Hi, boss fighter. Ah, just got it. Almost got it. It's hard to control the ice kunai form after exiting an enemy. Especially when they're still moving as well. Like, you have to, like, time it. And if your timing moves, the timing becomes awkward. Now, remember I was talking about, oh yeah, forms do a lot of damage. Especially the gray form. Yeah, there's something funny about that. Basically, almost every boss is weak to it. Please don't waste time. He does the one move that wastes the most time. Thanks. Thanks, Henry. But as you can see, our gun just makes perfect quick work of it. And we're going to be seeing that a lot. So let's see. No more burn jokes, unfortunately. If you wanted to get them in, this was your chance. Now we get the worm. We're here for our revenge. You've made us waste so much time. Payback. Never mind. Does the one thing. Karma. Get here. Get here. Get over here. There we go. Give him the good old left-right shots. 1, 2, 3. So I'm trying not to consume too much Berserk energy. I am saving up most of my Berserk energy specifically for a mini-boss. Yeah, go Berserk. Bye. Bye, Crystal. So this is also why you buy infinite ammo. So you don't have to mess around with... there is a glitch. If you buy specifically 2 upgrades for that form, you can manually switch and also emulate infinite ammo. Hang on a second. I'm here for my revenge. Let's get it. So yeah, you can emulate infinite ammo by buying 2 upgrades. Did I get it? I didn't get it. Darn it. I was pretty close though. I didn't get the perfect pixel. Now the reason why I don't use the Mindbuster form for this is somehow this turtle is the only one strong enough, only one tanky enough to actually be able to endure the living spam out of that Mindbuster form. I don't know why, but that just saved him the entirety of everything. Let's go. So now we get to the repeat of Trish. Now this Trish fight becomes entirely different because we don't have Berserk energy. So what we're trying to do here is actually use the attack and get her to the ceiling. Come on. And that's also the end of Trish Part 2. So even though the fight becomes different and you'd expect like a repeat of the fight we had earlier, that was insanely fast, we still figured out a way to, you know, get rid of her pretty quickly. So I'm going to go for a quick kill coming up on Gray. And that's really ironic. If I can get it though, I'm going to try. Okay. Mashing right now. Yes! That's a really hard one to pull off. So what happens is Gray or Mindbuster is weak to his own form. So Metal Blade, Metal Blade basically. And if you mash just quick enough, because 9 out of 10 times, getting the timing... Oh, wow. I get shoved underneath the spikes. That's a triple that's not happened before. But yeah, with Mindbuster, he gets shoved underneath. You can quickly get rid of him. It's just really hard to do. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, he just focuses on getting into his invincibility frame form. Wow, a lot of these enemies are not behaving the way they normally. Huh. Let's grab that just to be safe. So now we're facing off against the final boss again. However, the room is different. That's important to note. Now this final boss fight is actually really cool if you don't use the Mindbuster, because he basically calls upon the abilities of all the Berserk orbs as well and then shows them off one by one. But we have infinite ammo. I'm replacing all their body parts with bullets. That seems to work. So now they're at an impasse. The entire room is built specifically to contain all the Berserk energy that the world contains and that we have achieved. And now he's going to steal all our powers, which does not seem very fair to me. And he does that to create ultimate power for one big giant arm. Now, there are many, many, many jokes one can make about one jacked arm, but I'll leave them up to your imagination. So I'm going to be mashing the text here because for some reason there's this, this is basically like part of a cutscene, so you can't skip this because it's also not entirely a cutscene. And with that, we have to face off against Red versus Blue. Fior actually had the life orb, which was the last orb in the game, had it with them all along. That explains the fiery hair. And with that orb, we are now combining ourselves, because Fior was technically supposed to be dead. We combine with Fior because we lost all our powers. And then we're fighting off in space. I'm going to kick these missiles back at you. And you can keep that. Go home with your dollar store Wi-Fi. Quick punch in. Wacha! This should be enough health. I want to show something off. Now, if you just move, there's like the yellow arrows on the background. If you move just before it reaches the bottom, you're just generally safe. Come on, do the thing. Come on, do the thing. Do it again. Oh, I mistimed my punches. That's okay, though. It is very much possible to kick him out of it. I think you can do it again. You can dash through it, not take any damage. I think that should be enough. Come on, do the twist thing. Do the twist thing. I want to kick you out of it. That's cool. I'll give him 2 more attacks after this. If he doesn't do it, I'm just gonna kick him right in the shin. You know what? Keep your missiles. We're ending this. So with this, we are entering our final clash moment, which you basically have to mash, and we're pushing him back. And he's like, I will never be a memory, and he increases his power by a lot, and we're just mashing, we're mashing, we're mashing. And eventually it's just, and that's it. Have to mash for our lives, and then the Berserk orbs get spread around again, and we get our own one back. The original lightning one. And that's the end of True Ending Percent. Our hero K falls to the ground. He's like, I need some time. We're unconscious here. Then they're like, hello, wake up. And then actually a thud to the head wakes us up. I don't know if you should do that to your heroes. And with that, we have the happiest ending credits coming up in 2. Let's see. I think Host, do I have a little bit of time left?
Yes, you got if you wanted, you got about like a good 10-20 minutes.
Okay. That's good, that's good.
If you wanted to.
Because I want to show off like,
yeah.
a little something if possible.
Yeah, go for it.
I just have to wait for the credits though.
That was actually pretty cool. I never heard of this game before. By the way, good morning everyone. I'm taking over for Taraj for the moment. I'm yours truly, the Hexman One, HCH Hardcore Hex. I've made it over to 20X Expo HQ, so I'm helping out with the hosting side of things. But yeah, that was really impressive. I'm definitely gonna need to check that out. Thank you so much for sharing it.
Yeah, I'm really happy this game came to be. Like, there's a lot of stuff, like I mentioned, still to be found. We could always use a new runner here and there. Go ahead, try it. It'll lure you in. The movement options and will try to lure you in. Let's see. Look, I want to show something. So this is my 100% file. I have everything on it. So what happens if you actually complete... Okay, so this is really unpracticed, I will say that. But I just wanted to show it out. If you complete all the medals, you see that the red bar is completely filled up. And then you unlock the EX stages. And the EX stages is basically a time trial that challenges you from start to end with all the forms and options you have available. But it only unlocks if you have all the medals and the entire resistance. So I have not practiced this stage, so let's just see how this one goes. I have a feeling I could skip one of them over there. So yeah, these are basically stages that reward you with like extra. Oh! And now the thing is, this is a time trial challenge, so it will always reset you back to the start if you die. So any mistake is, of course, going off the time here. Maybe I should have picked a different one. Not that I know any of this. I have not. Okay, you know what? Here we go. Let's see what time we can put on. There we go. Okay, that was rather easy, but then again, it was one of the earlier ones. Like, they change and require you to adapt. The best thing about these time trial stages is they really practice your skill. It takes a little bit of time getting used to, but they will try to force you to adapt and think differently than you've been through the stages, basically. Yep, that's gonna be it for me.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Definitely, guys, if you're interested, check out Berserk Boy. With that being said, don't forget, guys, we are so close to our goal of 87K, trying to raise funds to have 20X Expo happen August 2027. So definitely in the chat, exclamation Kickstarter, we'll send you the link for all that wonderful information and all the incentives that you could do to get yourself powered up for 20X Expo. Is there anything that you wanted to promote, Diane, before you head off? Any socials or anywhere they can find you?
I can be found on twitch.tv/Dyanketo, which is the display name that I have right now. I'd like to shout out 20X Expo. Thank you so much for having me. I always love showing off the... I found it out by accident and it was really a time slot for it in. I'd like to thank the Berserk Boy Games community and the developer Zoo for making this. And that will be it. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, it's really cool. I definitely see the Zero inspiration in it. So definitely, if you want to play some more Zero action, this is right up your alley, guys. So definitely check out Berserk Boy. With that being said, coming up here in a few, Taraj will be back and he will continue his run of Mega Man Battle Network 2. So stick around, folks, for that. We'll probably go into a brief intermission, as well as we got all kinds of stuff lined up. It's still Mega May somewhere here in the world. So as long as it's the month of May, we will be here live streaming for you guys to raise awareness and to make 20X Expo a reality. With that being said, we'll be right back shortly. Don't go anywhere. And yeah, thank you guys so much.